In relation to universal primary education, about 2 years ago, this was very slow. The achievement was very slow, especially in relation to women. But the government has been able to put in place schools, primary schools in every parish so that girls can be able to access schools. The unfortunate thing is that as the girls grow older, they drop out of school because they are exposed to men, and they are taken out of school for early marriages, and this is a problem that we still have to face. Although one of the issues that as a country we are doing is to provide primary schools that are boarding schools so that the girls can be kept in school and be able to complete the primary education. Then primary education, we are building secondary schools which are boarding, and then we'll also construct technical schools and university. For the university, from the beginning, government of Uganda introduced affirmative action by giving extra points to enable girls enter university and do the courses that they can do. So where in the past you'd find maybe 2 to 20 boys doing, 2 girls to 20 boys doing medicine, the ratio has gone up to maybe 10 to 20, and we hope that in future it will even be much larger. So the girls are able to do more science courses than the arts courses that they used to do.
And 64%.
I'm rushing because of time. In relation to promoting gender equality and empowerment of women, here we are on track, like I have explained to you. In the 1995 Constitution, the women were participated in the constitutional making, and it's a regulation that for every district there should be at least one woman who is a member of parliament, and then they can stand on the other constituencies. So the ratio has grown from a third to slightly maybe it's not 0.5%, but the number is greater than a half of women in parliament. So the number is increasing because out of 276 NRM members of parliament, there are close to 100 members of parliament who are women. And I see that is a figure from the time that we were in parliament. I've already talked about the child mortality and the maternal health services. We're increasing health centers such that at each health center you'll be able to find a nurse, a midwife, and a doctor. There will be a pharmacy, and there will be medicine, so that women can be able to access these drugs and live a healthy life. HIV and AIDS, I have spoken about it, and we are trying to combat it. So now let me speak about issues in relation to the Beijing Platform for Action. Uganda definitely is a country that has championed from the beginning issues of women. And the mentality we have in Uganda is that emancipation of women is not about numbers, but it's about the feeling of the women. It's about how do we enable the women to stand out and speak out. But I cannot fail to mention that we've had a vice president who is a woman. Currently we have a speaker of the National Assembly who is a woman. We have a number of ministers in the key ministries who are women, and they do not just occupy the seats, but they are seen as leaders who try and encourage the young people to be able to take up leadership positions to speak out for the women. And so issues of women and poverty are being addressed. Education and training of women is being addressed. Women and health is being addressed. Then it brings me to violence against women, which is still a key issue. What kind of violence do we experience in Uganda? One of the worst forms of violence we have in our country is female genital mutilation. We have some cultures in our country whereby they circumcise women. Now, this circumcision is in 2 forms. In one tribe, they just cut off the clitoris. In the other tribe, they cut off the clitoris and the minora and seal it. And then it has to be cut when you are going to, on your marriage day. is able to sleep with you. And then, you know, and it's your mother-in-law who cuts that ceiling. So these are the forms that we have to fight on a regular basis. We have passed the law against female genital mutilation, but because it's a culture which has been from generation to generation, the cultural leaders are still not supporting it, and so it's a big struggle where we need everyone's help to help us fight female genital mutilation. Abuse of women by through beating is still an issue. 2 weeks ago, we lost a very brilliant journalist, a very young girl who was a good journalist, and it's because she was beaten by her ex-boyfriend just because he could not accept no, and it's because she was splashed with acid that burnt her up, and she was never able to recover, and we lost her. That's just 2 weeks ago. And these are the stories that come to the public. There are many others where women are battered, killed, and sliced. We had another worker, another young girl, just because the man could not take no, sliced her up and threw the body parts in different pit latrines, not even her parents' pit latrine. So these are some of the stories of violence against women where men cannot accept the word no. So we need a lot of support to be able to tell our men that when a woman says no, she actually means no. Because there they say, when a woman says no, she's actually saying yes. So what happens when I'm telling you yes? Do I have to put my legs wide open? So we need to encourage these men, just like my colleague Anna Marie was saying, to accept no. No means no, and yes is yes. I do not give you body language. If I want, I want. If I don't want, I don't want. The women, like I've said, are participating in the economy. I'm finishing. I know you're about to slash me off. Well, there are many other issues. The girl child. The girl child. I wouldn't be here if my parents did not educate me. And one of the things that I have been able to participate in is to encourage people to take their children to school. My mother went to school because her father wanted her to be somebody. And through that, she was able to take me to school so that because she wanted me to be somebody. We were not rich, but she knew education was the way that would get me somewhere. And I too am promising my daughter that I will get her somewhere through education. And so that's my mentality. That educate your child. When you educate your children, you'll be happy. But educate that girl, you'll be even happier because I live with my parents and I'm able to take care of them. That's the best I can say. And thank you. I'll listen. I'll give you more when you ask me questions.